guys. So let's dive right in. This has been some fun news to be watching unfold. So Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello released a song, I believe it's called like Senorita, and it was a very steamy music video. But what the exciting news is either their PR teams are really convincing and made them get together, or they're an actual couple. Now, you guys know how I feel about like people falling in love on screen and then taking it to the real world. I love it. But a couple of years ago, I actually saw an interview with Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes, and they had this like playful play-fight relationship. It was on, I don't know if you've heard of it, Z100. And my sister's watching from Hartford. Ooh, what a role reversal. I went to school there. But they did this interview, and it was very steamy. Like, you could just tell that there was, like, something more there. Fast forward, and they had done a song together. Fast forward, they do another song together, and they're, like, rolling around in a hotel room in the music video. Now they're in love, making out in the streets. So we've got a visual of them now holding hands, gallivanting in the streets. They were in San Francisco making out in a coffee shop I saw. I love it. I'm here for it. She kicked her boyfriend, Matthew Hussey, to the curb, which is the guy who's like telling women how to get men. We don't need your help. So I think she's great. She's with a guy who's more her age because Matthew Hussey was much older. And Shawn Mendes is gorge. Maybe she saw his Calvin Klein shoot and was like, yeah, Shawn, let's see where this goes, because all of that looks good for me. So that is the latest and greatest on Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. And then finally, because I was singing The Lion King earlier, very on theme, The Lion King premiere is this week. And so the film is coming out the end of this week, but the premiere was in America last week and then in the UK over the weekend. And the royals met the royals. So our American king and queen, Beyonce and Jay-Z, the Carters, met the royals. I forget what their last name is technically. Windsor? Yeah, there we go, Windsor. We've got Harry and we've got Meghan. Unfortunately, it's just a photo from the side, so you can't see everything. But they were talking to each other. They were just, Jay-Z was giving some parenting advice and told Meghan and Harry to make sure they make time for themselves. I'm like, oh yes, age-old generic parenting advice. Make time for yourself. Have a date night. I'm like, Jay, can we get a little more specific? When you're in that like upper echelon class of human, maybe it's like, you know what we learned? Having 6 nannies is really the way to go because, with the flying and the back and forth and like, her people and my people, it's just easier to do 6 nannies. So just take it from us. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of A-list multi-bajillionaire insight that they're looking for, not take time for yourselves as a couple. Yeah, everybody knows that, okay? I'm looking for the like, how do you fly on a private jet with a baby? That's the kind of world that they live in. So those are our hot topics for the week, which means we're going to move into our new favorite summer segment, #Big Brother in Law, with my brother-in-law, Wayne Stankewicz, and we're going to talk about and gossip about Big Brother Season 21, which is unfolding this summer.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, let's get into some Big Brother gossip. What has been going on? I'm heated.
So, as I predicted last week, Nick made a move. Unfortunately, it seems like his star burned bright and quick because he is on the outs with everybody now.
Yeah.
I think because he's sticking with Bella. So you had the Grateful Alliance, which has now broken off to form the 6 shooters with Nick and Bella on the outs. So I had a lot of hope for Nick, but I think it's not going to go his way.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like he's going to recover.
He hitched his wagon to the wrong horse. Like Bella is just not. She doesn't know how to keep one secret quiet.
Nope. Her whole game is just blowing up everyone's game that she can, including her own. And that's really not working for her. So
No, not at all. And I was really shocked. Well, I'm not shocked, but I was, with Kemi getting evicted, I've been talking about this every week. We were very heated discussing this at work today. I've been talking about it every week, is so the fact that camp room essentially is being filled with all of the minorities of the house. I went on Twitter today because I usually don't engage in the community talk, but I was getting very upset about this. If whoever gets evicted, this fourth person, it's going to round out and it's going to look really bad for CBS. Do you think that they even care?
I don't think they care about that. I think they've got some other issues that they're trying to deal with right now. I don't know if you happen to read, but news leaked that Jackson's arrest records for domestic assault came out, or alleged domestic assault, as well as Jack's multiple arrests for DUI also came out. So there is a lot of negative backlash.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Whatever happened to the age-old background check?
That's what a lot of people are saying, that CBS really messed up because they wanted these, good-looking young guys, to be there running the house, and I guess slipped through the cracks.
Oh my God, that's terrible, especially with the way that Jack's been behaving, because he is physically intimidating. The fact that he has domestic abuse on his record, I think he's a danger to the house.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he would act on anything, but it's certainly something that people have brought to the forefront of the discussion on this season of Big Brother. So
this is the one thing. This is the one thing that kind of terrifies me about wanting to be on Big Brother. Now, I don't have any skeletons in my closet. I'm not that interesting. But, I feel as though something would come out about me that's do you know that she sleeps with socks on? Some thing that you would never expect to come out, and everyone would cause an outroar. So that's the one thing about being on, a public show or a Big Brother. If you one off-color tweet one time in 2013, it's gonna get you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are kind of lashing back at the people that brought this up because, they think it's kind of vengeful to dig through someone's past to find these things. But on the other hand, don't do the crime if you don't want it, publicized like that.
You want to be publicly eviscerated and canceled.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that brings us into looking ahead and looking at who is the player of the week so far. With all of this drama going on, who do you think is really doing well and going to come out on top?
So I would say that David would be the house guest of the week because within 2-3 days of being back in the house, he had everyone pegged. He knew exactly where everyone stood, but he's not a house guest anymore. He's in Camp Comeback, so we'll see if he gets back. But other than him, I think Sam really made some good decisions this week. He was trying to push everyone in the right direction. He had that discussion with Nick where he said, look, we're part of, the 9, and we're clearly the low guys on the totem pole, so they're going to come for us. Take your shot at Jack and Jackson now. And Nick just kind of blew that off. So, Sam's trying to do the best he can with the limited power that he has.
Yeah.
I think he won HOH. It'd be very interesting to see who he chose to go after. But I don't know if he's a strong enough player to win many competitions. I mean, we've seen him win one before, but yeah.
No, I agree. I think Sam Smith, the player, not the musician. I think he was really smart to catch on to what's going on and realize that they're low man on the totem pole. I agree with you. I thought that was really smart that he was talking to Nick, although Bella was in the room. So knowing Bella and her propensity to spill secrets, I'm not sure that conversation is going to stay so private.
Probably.
But I'm looking forward to seeing what happens this week because I read some spoilers online, which I will not say during the live show.
I read the same things.
I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest unfolds.
Yeah, especially the eviction.
Yes, love the drama. Thank you so much, Wayne, for joining. I appreciate it.
Of course. Yep.
All right. Bye. I'll talk to you later.
Yep. Talk to you later. Bye.
For those of you who are wondering, that was my brother-in-law, Wayne, and that is our Big Brother-in-Law segment where we talk about Big Brother on CBS season 21. Even though we decided today at work, Big Brother is so white. They need to fix their casting. I'm leaving this in. This will not be edited out. And so for that, brings me into food for thought, which is where I generally give some kind of anecdotal insight, and it used to be about food, now it's just about anything. So I was walking to work, and I accidentally almost walked into a tourist. And this just reminded me of sometimes my mom and I will be walking in the city and we'll be doing something, and she'll like stop abruptly. Because we're trying to figure out what we're doing, where we're going, and I generally will walk into her there as well. So now I will just start this whole segment with, this is my fault for walking into people because I'm texting and walking. But I just want to say to my limited audience that I have, this is a PSA to basically anyone, tourist, mom, New Yorkers alike. It is so important that when you are moving around the city, particularly coming up out of a subway, that when you get away from the stairs, I would say the best idea is to, when you walk out of a store or an establishment or out of a subway, count to 3 in your head as you're walking, and then gracefully step to the side to where a physical wall of some kind is and get up against it. And that's when it's appropriate to stop walking. But if you're going to stop walking like mid-walk, New York is constantly in motion. It's constantly moving. And so if you're going to stop, it's like, I'm going to bump into you. The person behind me is going to bump into me. And we're just going to be bumping into each other like dominoes falling from Battery Park to the Bronx. So I'm just putting out a PSA. What we need to all collectively agree to is that when you come up from the subway or you walk out of a store, especially when you walk out of a store, because if I'm coming behind you and the door swings open and you're just standing there, like, I'm going to feel bad, but it's really not my fault. Like, maybe a little bit because maybe I'm texting and walking. But you really have to. So everyone, we count to 3 in our heads and we step to the side. Depending on what country you're in, you'll step to the right or the left. Because in some countries, it's like you stay to the left. In some countries, you stay to the right. Mind the gap and move on. So that's my food for thought PSA. Please, let's be cognizant of where we are when we're stopping to check our maps or check our phones or whatever we're doing. Decide with our friends where we're stopping for food. Make sure you step to a location that is not in the throughway of traffic and also not the street, and then make your decision. That has been my mom. Okay, you're too funny. That has been my PSA/food for thought. Which brings me into the guest portion of my show. I am so excited to bring on Miss Finola Austin. Please come and join me. Come on in.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Come on in and welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yay. So, Finola, I like to turn this part over the show to the guest, actually, where I ask the guest, how do we know each other?
Well, Ellyn and I know each other from working at Refinery 29, but it goes a lot deeper than that. So I'm so excited to be on the show today and see the magic and how it all works.
Oh, thank you so much. So Finola and I work together. We've had so much fun together. Yeah. And so what I kind of wanted to talk about is, so we used to work together, but now you work at Facebook and /Instagram, which is super exciting.
That is.
But you grew up in Ireland.
Yeah, that's right. Northern Ireland, like half an hour's drive from Belfast.
Oh, very nice.
Tiny little village / tiny town.
Yeah. Okay. And so you grew up in Ireland, and then how did you come to be here in New York City in a truncated life story? So I studied Latin and English literature at university. I did a master's in Victorian literature, and then I ended up switching to advertising. I worked in London for a year and then came to New York. It was meant to be for 1 year, but we're on year 5. So halfway to real New York status. Oh, is that halfway to New York?
I think so. I think that's what people say.
Okay, after 10 years, you're a New Yorker. Okay, I can respect that.
Yeah.
Well, you just fell in love with the city and the people. And
the fast walkers, obviously. They know how to move.
The people who know how to get where they're going. So you say that you studied Victorian literature.
Yeah.
And something that I think is really interesting and something I talk a lot about on here is pursuing your passions, even if your passion is not necessarily your work, but you are very passionate about your job as well, is pursuing your passions on the side. So, Finola, you are a bona fide novelist.
I am.
I'm so proud of you. We would talk about, developing your book, etc. So when we say it, you are a bona fide novelist, what does that mean?
It means that I've been writing for a long time on the side as a passion project, never making any money, but I just sold my first book and it'll be coming out next summer in 2020.
Yes, I'm so excited. And the name of this book is Bronte's Mistress, and your publisher is Atria, which is a part of Simon & Schuster, which is major. That's like one of the biggest book publishers.
Yeah, it's one of the big five. So
the big five.
But they all have 1,000,001 different imprints, which I knew nothing about. Apparently, I've got to watch Younger, right?
Yes, you have to watch Younger because I knew what an imprint was.
Yeah.
Yes.
You had it again.
Yeah. Everyone watch Younger. It's a really good show. Oh, look at everyone. Congrats.
Oh, thank you, everyone. It's so sweet.
So this is a bona fide novelist. You have a book agent. You have a publisher. Your book is coming out next summer.
Next summer. Publishing takes a long time, but they need to do the editing and the marketing and the cover and all that fun stuff and then get it into the hands of reviewers. Yeah.
So that'll be you guys. So fast forward to next summer. We'll all be reading Bronte's Mistress. So how did you get into, so you went to school and you studied Victorian literature, and Bronte's Mistress obviously leads me to believe that it's about that time period. So how did that passion come about?
Well, when I was younger, I loved reading novels from the period, the Bronte sisters, Jane Austen's a little bit earlier, Dickens, Wilkie Collins. But how I found this story was actually reading one of the first biography of Charlotte Bronte, and hearing about this woman, Lydia Robinson, the original Mrs. Robinson, who had an affair with Branwell Bronte, the Bronte sisters' brother.
Oh, wow.
And I was just so interested in her story. People had said that she was this wretched, profligate woman, this like mother of 5 in her 40s who dared to have an affair with a much younger man. And I just couldn't believe that no one had written the novel before, you know?
Really?
It's what I wanted to read.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love it. It's salacious. It's fun. She might be a bit of a feminist.
Absolutely.
Ahead of her time.
But a different sort of feminist from the Bronte sisters, who were poor, virginal, and inexperienced, whereas she is older, she's had 5 babies, she's wealthy, but she still doesn't own her own property. Her husband does.
Oh, okay. Oh my, I'm so excited. I remember you talking. I'm very excited to read
Thank you.
this.
And thank you to Ellyn for being so supportive throughout. I mean, I know when people say, I'm writing a novel, it can be easy to not believe them or to be like, oh yeah, in your wildest dreams. But Ellyn's always been so supportive.
Oh my God. Well, that's so sweet. Well, yeah, I just, I believe in people. I believe in people who believe in themselves. Like, I'm so proud of you. And I've always been so excited to know that you were working on this thing that made you so happy and so passionate. Going on, these expeditions and trips back when you would go travel back to Europe to see all of this history. Like, I could just tell it really like lights you up. So
yeah, and I only got stalked by a few sheep and everybody survived. So that was great.
There you go. Oh my God, I love that. So I want to make sure that everybody knows where to follow and what to follow to see what's next, because this is not going to be the last thing that you see coming from Finola. So you're going to be able to follow her blog. It's called Secret Victorianist. Can you tell everyone where that name came from? Because I think that this is anecdotally the cutest thing. You're going to see her talking about this on other talk shows.
Oh, thank you. Well, I started the blog when I finished my master's degree, so in 2013, and I wanted to share really some of the snippets from my essays about Victorian literature and make them available to all, since I wasn't going to be in academia, and I needed a name for the blog, and I called it The Secret Victorianist as a kind of play on Victoria's Secret, but The Secret Victorianist, and initially it didn't have my name linked to it. I was launching a career in PR at the time that morphed into advertising, and I thought it would be pretty embarrassing to have a blog that only like 10 or 20 really weird, nerdy people like me were following. And so it was only when I got a certain number of followers I started to link it to the rest of my public presence.
Yeah, now that you're like, okay, this is working out, I can tell people about it.
Absolutely.
I love it. So it's secretvictorianist.com. There is a Facebook and a Twitter, and you can also follow Finola on Instagram, Finola_Austin on Instagram, to check in on and see what's going on and see the latest information about the book and when maybe you can pre-order a book.
Yeah, and lots of other books that I read as well. So other historical fiction. There's so many great books coming out from people in the space, and I love reading all of them.
I love that. And you're supporting the community.
Well,
and
yeah, just
no
reading
doubt,
graciously.
Yeah, reading graciously and sharing with others. And no doubt the community will support you back when your book comes out.
Here's hoping.
I just know it. And we'll have Finola on next year when the book comes out.
Yeah,
we'll
be
have a hard copy
right here.
Yeah, we'll have a hard copy. Oh, I'm so excited. It'll go right on my bookshelf, which is hidden. Because now we've upgraded the set, people. As you know, after 20, we upgraded. And so that brings me into the game portion.
I'd be nervous for this bit.
No, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Okay,
So first, it's going to be very on theme, based on your interest in Victorian literature.
Ooh, okay, yes.
I love the way you say it. It sounds better with an accent. Literature. So the first game is going to be Screw, Marry, Kill. And everyone get ready to comment. We're going to do Screw, Marry, Kill for Pride and Prejudice, Wuthering Heights, or Jane Eyre.
Oh my goodness, that's so hard. Okay, I'm going to have to screw Pride and Prejudice, mainly because of Colin Firth coming out of that lake. It's a classic.
I've watched every version available of Pride and Prejudice, so I know exactly what you're talking
That's
about.
your favorite, right?
Oh my god, yes.
Okay, good. I'm going to have to marry Jane Eyre because I'm so linked to especially Charlotte Bronte now from working on my book. I'm really sorry, but I am going to have to kill Wuthering Heights because as much as I love it, I kind of love it in patches, and it's a very teenage feeling book for me now, and I think it's not my life partner.
Yes.
And I couldn't say no to Colin Firth.
Oh, yes. So I feel like I'm very aligned with you, although I have to swap too.
Okay.
So I would marry Pride and Prejudice. I watch that movie all the time. The book is fantastic. I watched the special from BBC. I'm a huge Pride and Prejudice fan. Love. So we're going to get married. I'm going to screw Wuthering Heights because I do have this like memory of it from reading it when I was in high school and just like the whole back and forth. Yeah. And then I would guess I would have to kill Jane Eyre because I actually never read it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, you'll have to.
I know. I have to read it before I read yours. Well, now I'm on this historical thriller book kick with reading Discovery of Witches. So
yeah, and I want to shout out to Pride and Prejudice link things you might like as well. Mary B, which is from Mary Bennett's point of view, so the nerdy sister in the corner playing piano. What is her side of the story? I read that pretty recently. It was really fun.
Cool.
And then I met a woman recently whose book, The Clergyman's Wife, is coming out.
Wait,
in
I think
December.
I've heard of that.
And yeah, it's about Charlotte Lucas, who marries Mr. Collins,
Oh!
and what her side of the story is. So I'm really excited to read that one.
I feel like I'm so obsessed with it that I'm like, I would read any spin-off story about Pride and Prejudice. Okay, I'm going to read those.
And Longbourn was great as well. That was from the servant's point of view. Just every twist possible.
Literally. I'm like, where's the version written from Mr. Darcy's perspective? Does that exist?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll read that too, but I don't really care. The next game is our classic Screw, Marry, Kill. I decided to go with planes, trains, and automobiles. So would you screw, marry, kill a plane, a train, or an automobile?
Okay, I'm gonna marry planes. I love being on the plane. I can fall asleep before takeoff now. It's amazing.
Oh wow, that's impressive.
Screw trains. Nice to have occasionally. On Amtrak the other week, I appreciate that you can get wine. There's a nice food cart.
Okay.
You can, like do your work.
Okay.
And kill cars. I have never driven. I still can't drive. I'm very excited for automation, so I never have to.
You're like, if anything, I'd have a Tesla or drive for me.
Absolutely.
My issue is if I don't somehow engage with planes, I'll never get across the ocean.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like you would have to marry a plane because it can get you actually anywhere, for the most part. But then I would have to screw cars because I love driving. I love driving. I love going places. I think it's really fun. But they're fun jaunts. Like, I don't want to be on, like, a long car ride.
You don't want to
drive
commute every day.
No, I don't want to commute every day. I don't want to drive, like, you know, to 20 hours to California. Like, that's not for me. I like the jaunts. So, like, let's akin that to a one-night stand. So we're screwing cars, we're marrying trains.
Everyone says to take boats. I mean, we just kind of forget that they existed.
Trains, planes, and automobiles. No boats. There's no boats in this scenario, Evelyn. And then, what was the last one? Trains, planes, automobiles. Oh, trains. I could just do away with the train. Although I will say, I do like to be able to read while I travel.
Yeah.
The idea of being on a train. But cars, you can get exactly where you need to go. And that's kind of what you want when with having sex. So screwing. You get exactly what you want. So that is our game. And that brings me to our final segment of the show, our Noah Centineo news segment. If you can believe it, I'm still giving updates on Noah Centineo 22 weeks into the show. And the update is that he's currently in Toronto filming, I believe, To All the Boys I Loved Before 3, unless they're doing some reshoots for 2. And I can confirm, without a shadow of a doubt, that he's still wearing that hair tie on his finger. I believe that is now 13 weeks with wearing the hair tie on his finger. Here I am, giving you the hard-hitting facts, making sure you know the latest and greatest of what's happening in our world. And that's absolutely not to do with politics, and just to do with Noah Centineo. So that is our show for this evening. Thank you all so much for tuning in week over week to watch the show, especially tuning in today. Thank you, Finola, for joining me.
Thank you for having me, and thank you, everybody, for your congratulations. I want you all to get arcs.
Yes. So, again, remember, this show is about laughter and joy and spreading that. We could all use a lot more of that in our world. So I hope that you take that with you and carry it with you throughout the rest of your day and the rest of your week. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye. Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching. To subscribe to my channel, click here. And to watch more videos, click here. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And click the bell notification so that you know every time I upload a new video.
Can you see the change? And I'm choosing happy.